All right, now our final story tonight, humanity's family tree getting shaken up recently by the discovery of a site in which both modern Homo sapiens, or us, and Neanderthals lived together. But now entirely new branches to the family tree may need to be added and the rest of the branches rearranged, as Israeli researchers now describe a wholly new human species that may actually be more closely related to us than Neanderthals were thought to have been. And our new cousin's name, Homo Nesher Ramla.
Nesher Ramla findings are the missing piece in the puzzle that can help us explain open questions in human evolutionary history and can give us indication of the origin, the source population of Neanderthals who lived later in Europe. By understanding that we have a unique morphotype that have both archaic characteristics and Neanderthal-like characteristic, and it belongs to a very old group that lived in the Levant, we can rewrite in a way the history of the development of Neanderthals. Now we can say that it's probably that they originate in the Levant, in our region, rather than in Europe, as many researchers thought until now.
In any case, for more details now, we turn to Can You Dig It? With Israeli tour guide Anat Harrel. Hey Anat, thank you so much for joining us. Now, what is this new species? How was it discovered? And how would you describe it in relation to the Homo sapien and Neanderthals?
Hi, Aaron. Nice to see you again. Just last week, we talked about finding out that Neanderthals and Homo sapiens lived together right in this area, right? Mm-hmm. And less than a week later, we discover that we have found a new species older than Neanderthals in the same area, in this crossroads between the three continents. And the name of it is Nesher Ramla because it was discovered in some kind of a salvage excavation next to a cement factory near the city of Ramle, which is very close to the airport in the center of the country. Sure. So they decided to call it Nesher and Ramle. And what it tells us is that the beginnings of Neanderthals, we historians all thought that Neanderthals began in Europe, but more and more evidence is being presented slowly that Neanderthals actually began in this part of the world, in the Levant, on the Eastern Mediterranean. And that's what's so exciting.
So I understand from what I've read that the Nesher Ramla species is actually more closely related to Homo sapiens, however, than Neanderthals. So if the Nesher Ramla is older than the Neanderthals, how is that the case?
I think you have it a bit wrong. From what I read is that they're close to Neanderthals, and they're very close to ancient, what they call archaic Homo species. So the oldest part of the Homos that came out of Africa. So they are more ancient than Neanderthals, right? And what's so cool is 30 years ago, I used to teach human evolution to sixth graders in California. And I used to teach that first came the Australopithecus, and then the Homo habilis, and then the Homo erectus, and it was like this straight line. You remember that T-shirt that has the chimpanzee, and then this hominid walking in straighter and straighter, and then there's human, right?
But that's a bit of an oversimplification.
True, but we thought it was more of a straight line. And now we know that there's this huge tree with different branches of hominids, all used to live, many of them around here. And eventually, most of them died out until we are the only ones that stayed around.
But when we say these little branches, these little changes from one species to another, what separates us?
What separates us, first of all, hundreds of thousands of years. Okay. And what separates us is that when we discover a new species, we discover a species that has specific characteristics, a bigger jaw, a smaller chin. For example, the Nesher Ramla group, all right, had no chin. The chin was very small and the teeth were really big. And then, what is really cool is that we, or historians or archaeologists, have been finding pieces of this group for a number of years, and they couldn't catalog them because the way we catalog, we document these bones is that all the bones with the same characteristics belong to the same group. And so all these pieces were discovered and just put in storage because they couldn't figure out where they belonged. And now they've discovered, they said, you know what? This must be a new species. And they've said, yes, it's a new one. So all of those pieces that are in storage that before they didn't know where it belonged now all fall into place.
They say now we know.
And so what
Wow.
separates us is, bigger eyebrows, bigger nose, bigger chin, no chin, bigger teeth.
Sure.
That's what separates all of us.
All right. Anat Harrel, a pleasure as always. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Aaron.